So every single Pokemon card set release, whether it be a specialty set or a main series set, we open up enough booster packs to pull a master set. We open up every single possible card, we put it all in a binder, we get a complete master set, and then we give it away to one of you. We've done that every single set since Obsidian Flames, and today is the day we're going to do it again. And this time, we're going to do it with Stellar Crown. So one lucky subscriber is going to take home this beautiful binder, complete with every single card that you can possibly pull from Stellar Crown. All the commons, all the uncommons, all the reverse holos, all the rares, all the illustration rares, the special illustration rares, the full arts, the double rares, the ultra rares, the hyper rares. There's so many cards in a set nowadays, but it's all in here. Everything is in here. We're going to go through this master set in a few minutes here. I'm going to talk about the master set for Stellar Crown. It was a lot of fun to open, but first of all, this goes to one of you. So if you want to win this, all you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like and a comment on this video, and then come back 2 weeks from tomorrow. So that's going to be, tomorrow is September 13th. So September 27th, Friday, September 27th, we are going to announce the winner of the Stellar Crown Master Set. So make sure you're subscribed and then leave a like and a comment on this video. This is the video you want to pay attention to. And then boom, you are entered September 20th. You should watch all the videos in between now and September 27th, but September 27th is when we are going to announce the winner. I have to give a shout out to the Unlucky Collector on Instagram. Make sure you give the Unlucky Collector on Instagram a follow. He has been designing these binders for me for the past handful. He does such a good job doing the custom etch work. He's got the Derpy Turtle right here, the Terapagos right here, beautiful etch work, the Scarlet and Violet Stellar Crown right there, the Fanny logo up in the corner there. On the back side is the really cool Lapras. Look how good it is. So sleek. It is so cool. And then he's got a little bit of it engraved like right there with what it is. It's just the Fan Clan Master Set. Stellar Crown, September 2024. So huge shout out to the Unlucky Collector. He's been putting this together, and this is going to be one of yours. One of you is going to win this. Kyle was the one who won our most recent one, the Shrouded Fable Master Set. So now somebody is going to win the Stellar Crown Master Set. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and then leave a like and a comment on this video. Come back September 27th. To see if you're the winner. That is it. That's all I'm going to say about giveaways, because now we got to talk about the master set. So Stellar Crown officially comes out tomorrow, September 13th. A lot of people have already opened the set. You can find it, right? Like if you're watching this video, finish watching this video. If you really want to open some, you can probably run to your local Walmart and find it, because they break street date all the time. Otherwise, your local game store that's a brick and mortar had the ability to start selling it already on Monday. So if you're still looking to pick some up, now is probably the time to do it. It's a fun set to open. I like it a lot. I think there's some really great things. I don't think it's as good as some of the other sets we've had in the Scarlet and Violet block. I would still put Paldea Evolved at number 1, but I also really like Twilight Masquerade. I really like Paradox Rift. I really like Temporal Forces. Stellar Crown kind of mixed in with all of those. And pull rates, we're going to talk about full pull rates tomorrow. I make a little bit of assumptions in this video, but we're going to talk exclusively about the Master Set, because this one is a much smaller set and it actually feels possible. I want to start out by saying you should never unless you can really afford it, never open up booster packs in order to pull a master set. It is not a great idea. Open up some booster packs, have fun with the set release. If you want to open up a box or two, go nuts. If you want to open up some booster packs, however, if you have the ability, this is probably a set. We don't have another set release now until January, so you can probably take your time, and you can probably get to a point where you can open up enough booster packs in order to pull an entire master set. And it should stay relatively cheap. I don't think Stellar Crown's going to go nuts at all as far as pricing goes, and I don't think any of the cards in Stellar Crown are going to go nuts as what we've seen, like the Greninja SIR from Twilight Masquerade. And I'm going to explain exactly why I think that in just a second here. So I'm going to flip you guys around. We're going to look at a little bit of a presentation here before we take a glimpse at the master set. But here's the Stellar Crown information. A lot of people are comparing it to Obsidian Flames, and it is very much like Obsidian Flames as far as set size goes. Very different as far as pull rates go. And again, I don't have all the pull rate data calculated yet. It's over 2,000 packs. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But it is a very, very small set. Almost as small as Obsidian Flames. In Obsidian Flames, you could master Obsidian Flames in just over a case. Like 7 booster boxes was enough booster packs. 250 booster packs was enough packs to pull an entire master set of Obsidian Flames. This is not that easy, but it's relatively easy. So it's a super small set. Only 13 illustration rares. There's 6 special illustration rares and 3 hyper rares. So there's just the the Terapagos, the Bravery Charm, and the Area Zero. As far as those gold cards cards go. And then the Special Illustration Rares, just the 3 Pokemon and the 3 trainers. That's it. Obsidian Flames was basically the same thing, except it had 1 less Illustration Rare. So only 12 Illustration Rares, 6 Special Illustration Rares, and 3 Hyper Rares. If you compare this to the last main series set that we had, which was Twilight Masquerade, even Twilight Masquerade wasn't that big, especially if you compare it to some of the bigger sets like Paradox Rift and Paldea Evolved. It was even smaller, I believe, by a little bit than Temporal Forces. So Twilight Masquerade, one of the smaller sets of the Scarlet and Violet block, but way bigger than what we're looking at with Stellar Crown. 21 Illustration Rares, 11 Special Illustration Rares, and 6 Hyper Rares. So almost double the size when it comes to set. That's why it's a little weird that we didn't have like Shrouded Fable combined with Stellar Crown. And in my mind, mentally, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to combine those into one big set because that's basically what it is. So very, very small. Pull rates play a huge factor, and I want to touch on this because I think it's vitally important. A lot of people are looking at the pre-order pricing for singles, and they saw what happened with the Greninja, and they're like, okay, is that going to happen with the Terapagos? And I don't think so, and here's why. So in the top right-hand corner up there, that is the pull rate data for Twilight Masquerade. So your average double rares, 1 out of every 6 packs. Your average ace specs, 1 out of every 19 packs. Ultra rares, 1 out of every 15 packs. Illustration rares, 1 out of every 12 packs. You pretty much got 3 per booster box like clockwork. Your average Special Illustration Rares, 1 out of about every 2 boxes. 1 out of every 68 packs. And then your average Hyper Rares, 1 out of about 113 packs. So closer to 3.5 boxes for that one. So with the giant difference in the amount that you can pull as far as rarities go. And this is where it gets really important. So if pull rates stay the same, a lot of people are like, hey, Fanny, are pull rates the same? They do look the same. They look very, very similar. And like I said, I'll have full pull rate data for you tomorrow, so you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collecting dollars. But let's say for a second that they do have the same pull rates. That is 1 out of every 68 packs to pull a Special Illustration Rares, a Special Illustration Rare. Because of the amount of Special Illustration Rares in this set, that makes the Terapagos significantly less rare than that of the Greninja. So since there's 11 SIRs in Twilight Masquerade and you only pull 1 every 68 packs, you're going to pull a Greninja on average 1 out of every 748 packs. So it's going to take you about 748 packs to pull a specific, a unique, an individual Special Illustration Rare. Whereas Stellar Crown, since there are so many less Special Illustration Rares, there's only 6, it's only going to take you 408 packs. So if you're hunting down that Terapagos, since it's a pull rate, let's say 1 out of every 68 packs, and like I will get you full pull rate data tomorrow, and you can do the math on your own. Whatever it is, the amount of packs it takes to get 1 Special Illustration Rare, you're going to multiply that times 6, and that'll give you the approximate pull rate data for an individual card. So Terapagos, 1 out of about every 408 packs, which makes it much less rare than that of the Greninja, if pull rates stay the same, which I think they're going to be close. The Illustration Rares are where the jury is still out. I opened up a lot of boxes that did not have 3 Illustration Rares, which was very weird. But if pull rates do stay the same once I calculate everything out, and you get 3 per booster box or 1 out of every 12 packs, since there is such a difference in the amount and the quantity of Illustration Rares in Stellar Crown versus Twilight Masquerade, the Eevee, for example, takes about 252 packs to open because you take 21 Illustration Rares times 12, because that's the amount of packs it takes to get 1 Illustration Rare. So it's going to take you about 252 packs to pull an Eevee, whereas a Squirtle or a Bulbasaur that you see in Stellar Crown, since there's only 11 or 13 Illustration Rares, there's only 13 Illustration Rares in Stellar Crown, you would take 13 times 12, which is 156 packs. So the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur should have an approximate pull rate of about 1 out of every 156 packs, whereas the Eevee would have an approximate pull rate of about 1 out of every 252 packs. That's if pull rates stay the same, which I think they're going to be close, but Illustration Rares has me a little bit nervous. Special Illustration Rares I feel a little bit more confident with. Again, check out tomorrow's video. We'll have full pull rate data for that. But because of that data, the Terapagos, in my opinion, is just nowhere near as rare, as difficult to pull as the Greninja, because there's so many less Special Illustration Rares in this set. So I think that pricing is going to stay down a little bit for that, even though Terapagos has the ability to be extremely playable. Greninja, not as playable, not nearly as playable as what Terapagos could be. But a lot of that is going to be determined not for a while, because we have a regional event this weekend, but Stellar Crown will not be legal for that event, so then you have to wait until like Louisville reveal or a few weeks later to see how Terapagos really does in the meta. Going over the Master Set, big variance. There's a lot of weird things about Stellarcrown, but the variance is probably the most shocking thing. So pull rates are way, way better than what they used to be, and I don't want anybody to take that for granted. Like, if you were around during the black and white era, during the XY era, even during the sun and moon era when they started introducing those rainbow rares, pull rates were not good. Even if you were around in the sword and shield era before the trainer gallery got introduced, like, they call it evolving cries, they call it chilling pain, they call it fusion strikeout, not just because of stolen hits, but they call it that because you only get about 7 to 8 hits per booster box. If you go back into the black and white days, you were getting about 5. If you go back to the XY sun and moon days, you might have gotten 6 to 7 in some booster boxes, but we are nowhere near that point. So even your worst boxes have about 11 hits for Stellarcrown. That was what the variance looked like. So the lowest amount of hits that we would get in a booster box was 11. So you would get basically 9 ultra rares and 2 ace specs, or maybe 10 ultra rares and 1 ace spec. However, the variance was insane because some boxes had as many as 16 hits, where you would get 14 ultra rares and 2 ace specs. So that's a huge variance right there. You could open up a booster box that's really, really kind of a dud if you look at it, and there's only 11 hits, and you could open up a complete banger, you know, that's got 16 hits. You're like, holy buckets, this box is nuts. But going over 20, we put out a video the other day of 20 booster boxes that we opened up, so you can kind of get a feel for what pulls look like in booster boxes. 7 out of the 20 boxes that we opened only had 2 illustration rares. So usually, like clockwork, like I said, in Twilight Masquerade, you would get 3 in just about every box, 3 illustration rares. 7 out of the 20, so about 33% of the amount of the boxes that we opened only had 2. And that's why I'm a little worried about pull rates when it comes to illustration rares. I don't remember opening up many boxes, if any, that had 4 to kind of even that out. So I do think illustration rares might take a step back when it comes to pull rates. 6 out of the 20 boxes that we opened up only had 1 ace spec. So again, about 30% only had 1 ace spec. I don't remember that happening, and there was a lot of times in Twilight Masquerade where I would open up a booster box and it would have 3 ace specs, or even sometimes where it had 4 ace specs. This is 6 out of the 20 times only had 1, and I never opened up a booster box that had more than 2. So that's a little weird. 11 of the 20 boxes had no special illustration rare or hyper rare. So over half the boxes that we opened had none of those upper rarity cards. A lot of people have been watching a lot of openings saying, hey, I think pull rates look a little bit better, or I think pull rates may be taking a step backward. It seems very similar to what we saw with Twilight Masquerade, where the majority of the boxes, so a little over 50%, did not have a special illustration rare or a hyper rare. That just kind of seems to be the new norm ever since Temporal Forces came out. So 9 of the boxes that we had did have one or the other, and a couple of the boxes had both, had a special illustration rare or a hyper rare. Batching continues to be a little sus. I put that at the bottom there because there is still some weird things going on, and you'll see that tomorrow when we look over full pull rate data. There were times where we opened up like a Squirtle fairly early on, but then it would take us like 600 packs to maybe find another Squirtle, and we would have 6, 7, 8 of another illustration rare at the time. Or maybe we would open up a case and Terapagos was not in the case at all, like no regular Terapagos, but there was like 6. Every single box had a Cinderace. So there was just some weird situations. There weren't any booster boxes that had 2 of the same double rare or 2 of the same ultra rare, but it was still a little weird how you would open up a booster box case and there would be a lot of focus on one specific card, where there was multiples of the same double rare, and then you would not find any other double rare. Or like when we opened up the Master Set, it took us a really long time to find the Gulpin. The Gulpin illustration rare was the last card that we needed. It took us over 600 packs to find it. That was the one for some reason we just couldn't find, but we had pulled multiple copies of every single illustration rare that was out there. It was just that one that we couldn't find for some reason. So a little sus on that. In total, it only took 697 packs. I say only like that's not a lot. That's still a lot. It still is a lot. But if you compare it to other sets, for example, Twilight Masquerade, it took us a ton. It took us over 1,500 packs. It took us over 2,000 packs because we couldn't find that Hearthflame Ogre Pond to save our lives. But 697 packs, that is the lowest pack total since Obsidian Flames, and the only set in the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet block that was under 1,000 packs outside of Obsidian in Flames. So 697 packs. We did do fairly well in Variance. I think there was only a couple or one Special Illustration Rare that we pulled a double of before we pulled our last Special Illustration Rare. And like I said, the last card that we needed was actually Gulpin, and there wasn't, the Variance wasn't as bad as what it's been in the past. 697 packs, I think it's pretty accurate. You should be able to get it with about 700 packs, I think. So that's why I'm saying if you want to open up packs slowly but surely, until the next set release comes out, let's say in January, and you can afford to do so, should take you about 700 packs. Card quality seems to have improved a lot. There's still some centering issues, but much fewer, way better than what we've seen in the past. Lost Origin, for example, was absolutely terrible, and still stayed pretty bad up until, a few sets ago. Now it seems like they're starting to figure things out. Still not along the same lines as Japanese card quality, but definitely getting better. There was very few issues as far as backwards cards go, or upside down cards go, or missing reverse hollows. I remember Twilight Masquerade, I had tons of batches where there was only one reverse hollow in a box instead of two, and then some packs in Stellar Crown had double code cards, which really isn't that big of a deal if there's a double code card or even if the pack is missing a code card. But that would be the weirdest thing of everything. So we're going to go over the master set so you can see exactly what it looks like here. So I did things a little bit differently. With this one, I kind of recorded differently because my overhead camera doesn't look great. So we're just going to voice over all of this so you can kind of see how things look. And this is how I lay out my master sets. You can see the Venusaur EX at the top there, but then I'll put the regular non-hollow variant next to the reverse hollow variant. And you can kind of do it either way. I've seen a lot of people who use smaller binders, and maybe they'll put the reverse hollow on top of the non-hollow version, and then they'll put that in the same slot of the binder. I like putting them next to each other, and these 4-up binders do have the room for it. And like I said, this is a smaller set, one of the smaller ones that we've seen since Obsidian Flames, so it makes a little bit more sense to be able to do it like this. There's the Hydrapple EX over there. That looks okay in competitive play. We'll see how it does. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot, and the thing that really interests me about this set is it seems like there's a lot of cards that are just kind of thrown in here. Not so much on this page. The Lapras EX is very, very cool. Makes a ton of sense. The Cinderace EX makes a ton of sense. The Blastoise EX doesn't really seem to fit. Even though there's a Squirtle in the set, it just doesn't really seem to fit. And I know it was released as a Battle Academy promo over in Japan, and they kind of just threw it in the set. But it seems to be that's kind of the case with a lot of cards that were just kind of thrown in the set. It seems a little weird. There's the Greninja EX over there. I do really like the Crown Pokemon in this set. The Terra Pokemon that we've seen, the Cinderace already. We've already seen, now we're looking at the Galvantula, but we've seen the Lapras. The bordering on the outside of the cards looks really cool. It's got that rainbow pattern associated with it instead of just being kind of a border or a boring border. Looks much better what it is now. So I know a lot of people have given a lot of hate to those Terra cards in the past, and rightfully so. There's not a whole lot of difference between those and the ones that we see from like Hidden Fates, the Full Art Shinies, from Paldean Fates, from Shining Fates, but this really separates them a lot, and the Full Art Lapras looks absolutely amazing, which we'll look at in a second here. But there's the Donut Dog right there, the Doxbun EX, which looks really, really cool as well. That seems to be kind of fitting in this set okay, unlike the Lucario, which seems like it's kind of forced in this set a little bit. Not a whole lot of fighting Pokemon in this set, but some really cool artworks. The Meditite I really do like. I think it looks really cool. There's the Medicham over there. There's the Riolu, and there's that Lucario that we were just talking about. But a lot of the common and uncommon cards in this set do have some really good artwork. There's the Garganacl EX right next to the Phalanx over there. We've got the Pancham up in the corner over there. Not a whole lot of double rares either, so that makes this set a little bit different than what we've seen in the past, and we get through the commons and uncommons fairly quick just because there's not as many of them. So if you open up an entire case of booster boxes, you should pull the majority of the cards that you need outside of maybe 5 or 6 ultra rares. There's the Melmetal EX right there. So if you're somebody who likes to buy a case of a new set, that should give you pretty much every single common and uncommon reverse holo that you need. There's the Orthworm over there, which I almost skipped over, but I ended up going back and making sure that I got it. There's the Fanrotom down there. Fanrotom, very, very cool card. Tornadus comes back in this set as well. Not as many colorless, not as many Pokemon just in general, but we're finishing up with the colorless Pokemon here, and then we start moving over to the trainer Pokemon. There's the Terapagos right there, again, with that really cool rainbow border. There's the Area Zero right there, that one in sparkling glass. Glass seem to be the cards that you really want, or Glass Trumpet, sorry. Glass Trumpet seem to be the cards you want to pay a little bit of attention to when it comes to your trainer cards. And Sparkling Crystal, probably the best A-Spec in the set, but still not great. Here we hit our illustration rares. So you saw Bulbasaur up there in the corner. Very cool illustration rares pretty much across the board with this set. I know Bulbasaur and this Squirtle right there are probably the fan favorites. Joltik, Galvantula do have a little bit of potential in competitive play. We'll see how they do. That Zeraora is absolutely stunning. The full art's not as great. I'm actually more excited for the Terra full arts than the regular full arts, the regular ultras that you see like Medicham. I do like Medicham, but that and the Orthworm, just they leave a little bit to be seen, it seems like. So Hydrapple's pretty cool. You've got the Milcery, you've got the Meditite, and the Gulpin, obviously very, very cool looking. There's the Archaludon right there, but the full art Terra cards definitely look way better than what we've seen in the past. You have 4 full art trainer cards over there. You've got the Crispin, you've got the Kofu and the Lacey. We already passed over the Briar. There's your Special Illustration Rare Hydrapple, your Special Illustration Rare Briar. There's the Special Illustration Rare Terapagos and the Special Illustration Rare Doxbun, and the Special Illustration Rare Galvantula, which we actually didn't pull too many of. I think we only pulled 1 copy of that one. Special Illustration Rare Lacey, and then you've got your 3 gold cards in the set, the Terapagos, the Area 0 Underdepths, and finally the Bravery Charm at the end. So the 4-up binder, it fits ends right on a page, which is really cool. And there's the Lapras on the back of the Fan Clan Master Set, which can be yours if you want to win. Just remember, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like and a comment on this video. Boom, you're entered. Come back September 23rd or September 27th. If you don't want to do any of those things, that's okay. I really just appreciate you guys being here, taking the time, giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys about Pokemon. I love this stuff. I love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for everything. Stellar Crown overall, like a B. I think it's a good set. It's a lot of fun. Could make, if it does really well in competitive play, it'll be even better. I think it has potential. But right now the meta seems like Regidrago is going to continue to be a big thing. Ancient Box is going to continue to be a big thing. I don't know if Stellar Crown is going to be good enough. We'll see if Terapagos has the support to be able to hit high enough numbers to keep up with some stuff that's going on in the meta. So it'll be interesting to see. But I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, share the video. It goes a really long way for the algorithm. But most importantly, thank you just for being here. Love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow going over full pull rates so you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collecting dollars. I'll talk to you then. Until next time, peace!